I went to bed earlier than normal last night. And because of that, I woke up earlier than normal this morning and managed to catch about 20 minutes of a live stream that World Class Bullshitters was doing. If you're not familiar with World Class Bullshitters, they're a YouTube channel of reasonable size, and I consider them one of the ringleaders of the whole anti Star Wars crowd. They did do the High Council thing with Geeks and Gamers and Ethan Van Sciver. And the video that World Class Bullshitters was doing this morning has got to be one of the most irresponsible YouTube videos, live streams, I'm not quite sure how to put it, that I've ever seen. Absolutely irresponsible. Because what he was talking about was a thread from 4chan, the poll sub 4chan, not subreddit, that's not wrong. Well, whatever you go, poll on 4chan. They're on a little Hollywood pedophile hunt, apparently. And there was a post that had a little list of some names, one of whom was Rian Johnson. And of course, it's Rian Johnson is the Antichrist who viciously raped Star Wars in front of everyone's eyes, laughing the whole time, asking it to squeal like a good little piggy. Got to make a video on this hot take. I mean, after all, James Gunn made some colorful remarks. And so let's see who else we can destroy. The thing is like even in the video description, when I saw after the stream was over and it was just in my regular subscription feed, it says right there that no one's accusing any of these people of anything. There's no evidence. He's just talking about what's in front of him. And apparently this post from 4chan is already archived and locked down. People can't even interact with it. And I could tell from, the little side scroll of live comments going on during the stream that a lot of the people who are watching were basically just ready and willing to leap onto any conspiracy-minded thing that they hear, especially if it means those vile, dirty, deviant degenerates of Hollywood are somehow involved. And as I said, this is terribly irresponsible because what he did is signal boost something of very dubious origin that wasn't really saying anything, but phrased in a way so that casual viewers who aren't going to dig in deeper or think about it very much will just get the conclusion that Rian Johnson and a few other people like Patton Oswalt and Ron Perlman are secretly involved in this great big underground Hollywood pedophile ring. And I'm not saying that such thing doesn't exist, or even that these people, or it's possible that these people could be involved. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is that this is not a subtle thing to be accusing somebody of. This isn't accusing somebody of shoplifting a candy bar. This is worse than accusing somebody of murder, practically. Once the stink of something like this is on someone, that can hound them their whole life and just destroy their life, make it impossible for them to do anything. Do we really want to chase all the freaks out of the entertainment industry? Especially if they haven't done anything criminally actionable? Do we want, if you get rid of artist types, creative types, tend to straddle that fine line between genius and insanity. And for whatever reason, things that could be deemed sexual deviancy seems to be part of that mix too. It could be part of kind of hedonistic exploration of experience kind of stuff. It can come from all sorts of things, really. Just for whatever reason, there's overlap, especially with the good people, the people who are good at their craft, the people who are able to come up with quality original stuff, or at least able to package things in a way where even if it is old, it seems fresh again. These are talents. talented people are quirky. And if we chase everyone away from being able to do any work and entertainment because of, hell, pick whatever it is, what exactly are we going to be left with? Do we want nothing but reality television and Kevin Sorbo Christian movies to watch? Because the way people are acting, that seems to be what Hollywood's going to be left with in about another 2 or 3 years. If everyone who's ever said anything off color on the internet is going to be chased around on Twitter with pitchforks until their employers are forced to fire them because they don't want to be associated with bad things. Last night, I watched a few minutes of Mike Cernovich's video that he had put out that started this whole thing with James Gunn. I couldn't finish it. I can tell by the look on his face, just the glee. This is all just cynical. He doesn't really give a shit. He probably doesn't even really believe these things, but he's purposely distorting quotes taken way out of context and gathering them all together to create this package. The headline that he had put on his little article that he was reading off of on his video was that, how was it put? Marvel director endorses pedophilia. Anything, even the worst comments that James Gunn made is not endorsing pedophilia. How do you endorse pedophilia? Is pedophilia running for fucking president? It's just, these witch hunts have to stop. They're going to end up burning us all. Yes, in the modern context, the left did start this. They are the ones that over the last several years, especially on Twitter, have set the precedent of creating a little bit of an internet stink over something mildly controversial and getting people fired. And now it's bitten them. Because maybe if we're lucky, the James Gunn thing can be a watershed moment where people realize that they've soaked their own bed in gasoline while they're playing with matches. Maybe they shouldn't have done that. Just on the off chance that they might be able to burn someone else down, you're going to burn yourself. This has just got to stop. James Gunn didn't deserve to be fired. Roseanne Barr didn't deserve to be fired. And whatever fucking stupid fallout's going to now happen with the people listed from this 4chan thing, because there's idiots like WorldClassBullshitters signal boosting this out to even more idiots to listen and believe and start talking about. Disney made a mistake by firing James Gunn so quickly, because they basically signaled to everyone that if you can nab one of our people on any loose association with kiddie porn, then we'll just get rid of them, even if it's not at all based in any kind of fact. Like as I said, if there's a criminally actionable thing that happened that they have evidence for, then by all means get rid of the dude and send him a trial. But off-color replies to stuff, being smarmy and jokey, I'm not even sure if I really called most of what James Gunn's comments really jokes. They're just more like joking replies. There's a lot of them, so like this doesn't apply to everything as a blanket interpretation, and that's also part of the problem, is all this stuff is just being swept together under one blanket seal with no thought about the fact that this is our own comments spread out over years. You don't know the context of the conversations that's been going on between him and his friends. I mean, he's an elfin weirdo guy who makes horror movies originally. It seems perfectly natural that he'd be playing up this kind of characteristic about himself. I don't know. This has to stop. And world-class bullshitters should really feel ashamed of themselves for doing this, because you're potentially, if this catches any more traction, you're just helping to just screw up people's lives. And what exactly is it that you're really going to gain from that? Do you think movies are going to be made better by any of this? Seriously? Because who's going to be left to be making them by the time it's all said and done?